In Hong Kong, Detective Inspector Lee, Jackie Chan, is wrapping up a mission apprehending the infamous crime boss Juntao's right-hand man. Meanwhile, across the Pacific Ocean, things are about to heat up in Los Angeles. Fast forward to LA, where Consul Han Sima has relocated with his young daughter, Su Young Shu. But their peaceful life is shattered when Su Young is kidnapped on her way to school. Enter LAPD Detective James Carter, Chris Tucker, a brash, fast-talking cop who's great at what he does. Or at least, he thinks he is. But when the FBI takes over the high-profile case, Carter is assigned a simple task: keep Inspector Lee, a top detective from Hong Kong, out of the way. But what Carter doesn't know is that Lee is anything but a rookie. As soon as Lee arrives in LA, he slips away from Carter, leading to one of the movie's many iconic cat-and-mouse moments. Carter and Lee's relationship starts off, well, let's say, rocky. Carter's loud, confident, and has a habit of making everything about him, while Lee is quiet, methodical, and a martial arts master. It doesn't take long for Carter to realize that Lee isn't someone to babysit. In fact, Lee is a one-man army. Lee takes out a group of armed men in a pool hall, using chairs, pool cues, and impressive acrobatics. From here, the two begin to work together, albeit begrudgingly. As they dig deeper, Carter and Lee uncover that the kidnapping is tied to an old foe of Lee's, the mysterious Juntao. Juntao's gang is demanding a $50 million ransom from Consul Han, but this is more than just a simple ransom. It's revenge for a mission years ago, where Lee helped dismantle Juntao's empire and seize priceless Chinese artifacts. The showdown takes place at a high-profile art auction in LA. Juntao's men plan to exchange the ransom for Su Young's life, and it's up to Lee and Carter to stop them. Lee performs high-flying martial arts stunts, while Carter, finally taking things seriously, helps out in his own way, albeit with a lot of comedic flair. In a heart-pounding finale, Lee faces off against Juntao's men, all while trying to save Su Young from a bomb strapped to her body. With Carter's help, they defuse the bomb, take down Juntao's gang, and save the day. By the end, the two unlikely partners have become close friends. Lee's calm precision and Carter's street-smart charisma make for a perfect balance. The movie kicks off with a mysterious woman delivering a suitcase bomb to the US Embassy in Hong Kong. Then we cut to Detective Lee, Jackie Chan, and Detective Carter, Chris Tucker, on vacation in Hong Kong. Carter is busy flirting with local women, only to embarrass himself, while Lee deals with the fallout of Carter tossing his music tape out of a taxi window. But their vacation is interrupted when Lee receives a call. The US Embassy has been bombed. Carter doesn't want to be dragged into a new case, especially during his vacation, but Lee leads him to an undercover mission at a swanky party. As Carter dances and sings, unaware they're in a gang-controlled area, Lee spots Hu Lee, the right-hand woman of notorious gangster Ricky Tan. Chaos erupts when Carter accidentally blows their cover, forcing Lee and Carter to chase Hu Lee and her men through the party and onto an under-construction building. Lee shows off his martial arts prowess as he fights off Ricky Tan's henchmen, while Carter, true to form, takes the stairs rather than climb the scaffolding. After a thrilling fight on bamboo poles, both Lee and Carter fall, luckily saved by the bamboo. The next day, Carter confronts Lee for lying about the mission. Lee explains that the embassy bombing killed 2 undercover US customs agents, not just translators, and he suspects Ricky Tan, who was once close to Lee's father, is behind it. Carter reluctantly agrees to help, and the duo head to a massage parlor where they spot Ricky Tan. Carter, being Carter, ignores Lee's plan to wait for backup and confronts Ricky Tan directly, resulting in a chaotic fight with Ricky's henchmen. The brawl ends with Lee and Carter being thrown out naked into the streets. Back at the police station, Lee is ordered to stop pursuing Ricky Tan, as he's just a small player in a larger triad operation. But when the station explodes, with Lee fearing Carter was inside, he realizes they're in deeper than expected. Meanwhile, Carter, very much alive, tracks Ricky Tan to a yacht party. The two reunite at the party, where Ricky Tan tells Lee he isn't responsible for the embassy bombing. Before they can get more answers, Hu Lee appears and kills Ricky, throwing the investigation into turmoil. Another fight ensues, with Carter being knocked out by Hu Lee's martial arts skills, while Lee battles her henchmen. The aftermath leaves Lee and Carter demoralized. especially after the US Secret Service berates them for seeking revenge instead of following orders. As they prepare to return to the US, Lee opens up to Carter, revealing that Ricky Tan was once his father's friend, but had betrayed him, leading to his father's death while investigating smuggling in Hong Kong. Carter shares a similar story about his own father's death in the line of duty, deepening their bond. They decide to continue the investigation, with Carter theorizing that a rich American, Stephen Rain, Alan King, is behind the entire counterfeit money operation. The trail leads them to Las Vegas, where they meet undercover Secret Service agent Isabella Molina, Rosalind Sanchez, who has been tracking Rain. Together, they infiltrate Rain's casino, the Red Dragon. The stakes are raised when they discover Ricky Tan faked his death and is orchestrating the counterfeit scheme. In a high-stakes showdown, Lee faces off against Ricky Tan in a personal confrontation. Meanwhile, Carter battles Hu Lee, dodging her lethal kicks. The fight culminates with Hu Lee planting a bomb in the casino, but Lee manages to defuse it just in time. The battle ends with Ricky Tan's death and the entire counterfeit operation collapsing. Hu Lee is caught in the explosion and dies as well. In the end, the case is solved, and Lee and Carter are closer than ever, joking about their next destination being Madison Square Garden. They decide to catch a Knicks game in New York, hinting at future adventures. 3 years after the events of Rush Hour 2, Chinese Ambassador Solon Han, with Chief Inspector Lee from the Hong Kong police force as his bodyguard, is preparing to address the World Criminal Court in Los Angeles. He plans to reveal crucial information about the Triads, a powerful crime syndicate, while LAPD Detective James Carter, now reduced to a traffic cop, is busy handing out tickets. As Han is about to disclose the identity of a mysterious figure known as Shai Shen, someone of great importance to the Triads, an assassin shoots him. Lee chases down the shooter, but hesitates when he discovers that the assassin is his long-lost foster brother, Kenji. This moment of hesitation allows Kenji to escape, and Carter, arriving too late, witnesses the aftermath. Ambassador Han survives the attempt on his life and is hospitalized. His daughter, Su Young, pleads with Lee and Carter to find the man behind the attack. She directs them to a Kungfu studio where her father left an important envelope. However, they soon learn that the Triads have already ransacked the place and are heading to the hospital to finish the job, killing Han and Su Young. Lee and Carter rush back to the hospital just in time to stop a group of assassins. After a chaotic fight, they interrogate one of the hitmen with the help of Sister Agnes, a nun who speaks fluent French. With Su Young's life still in danger, they take her to the French embassy and leave her with Varden Reynard, the French ambassador and head of the World Criminal Court. But before long, a car bomb nearly kills Reynard and Su Young, forcing Lee and Carter to travel to Paris to dig deeper into the Triads' plans. In Paris, they endure an awkward introduction with the local police and encounter a quirky, anti-American cab driver named George, who unwillingly becomes their chauffeur. They follow clues to a Triad hideout, where Carter meets a nightclub performer named Genevieve, and Lee faces off against a deadly assassin named Jasmine. Carter saves Lee from being killed, but the duo is captured by Kenji's men shortly after. Kenji, now head of the Triads, offers to let Lee and Carter go if they leave Paris. However, Lee refuses, demanding protection for Han and Su Young. After a brief struggle, they escape, but tensions flare between the two partners. Lee tells Carter he's not his brother, mirroring the relationship he has with Kenji, and tries to continue the mission alone. Hurt, Carter decides to leave, but soon gets back on track after spotting Genevieve and following her. Meanwhile, Lee learns from Renard that Shai Shen isn't a person. It's a list of all the top Triad leaders. Genevieve, the nightclub performer, turns out to be Han's informant and the key to the list, as the names are tattooed on the back of her head. If the Triads capture her, she'll be beheaded. With her life in jeopardy, Lee and Carter vow to protect her. After saving Genevieve from an attack by Jasmine, they return to their hotel only to be betrayed by Renard, who reveals he's been working with the Triads all along. Kenji then kidnaps Su Young and demands a trade for Genevieve. Lee, accompanied by Carter, agrees to meet him at the Eiffel Tower. In a tense showdown, Lee and Kenji engage in a sword fight, with both falling into a safety net. When the net is cut, Lee tries to save Kenji, but Kenji, touched by Lee's loyalty, lets himself fall to his death. At the same time, Carter fights off Kenji's henchmen, saves Su Young, and kills Jasmine in a brutal showdown inside an elevator shaft. After the dust settles, Renard tries to turn the tables on them by threatening Genevieve, but George, the cab driver, surprises everyone by shooting Renard in the back, killing him. As the police arrive, the bumbling Parisian commissaire Ravi attempts to take credit for everything, but Lee and Carter knock him out with a synchronized punch before leaving the scene, dancing to Edwin Starr's War in celebration of their victory. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more cinematic deep dives.